Charlie, you've had a lot of postseason experience. Do you still feel those same butterflies as you would have in 2013, that first one, or even some of the more recent ones? Is it always the same?
No, I wouldn't say it's the same. Probably because there's less unknown about, from my perspective about, or just being introspective, like there's less unknown. Like I know that I can do it. I know that I'm capable of doing it. Whereas before I didn't know that. I didn't believe that I could. I was really pretty unsure of myself. And I would say, maybe that I still have those doubts. Like, can I do it now? But it's not such a deep question to me anymore. Like, it's not, like, I don't know. You basically work your whole life to get to a point where you can do something like perform in a big game, or your whole career. And someone gives you the ball, and you're looking in the mirror going, man, I don't know if I can do it. That question's been answered. So at this point now, it just becomes more about, doing it for my teammates, doing it for our fans, doing it for those other reasons, and myself, for sure. But I think there are deeper questions that can be answered before the first couple times you get to go out there. I don't know how else to describe it.
Can you just give us your assessment of the Brewers' offense and what can make these guys challenging?
I mean, I would say they're pretty balanced. There's some power there. There's some scrappiness there, and everything in between. I mean, they got some speed. I think they're just a well-rounded team overall. I don't know, and two, like, when we get our sheets, like our pregame sheets for scouting, most of the times, like, we have a pretty good idea of who's going to be in there, and I'd probably, pick 6 or 7 guys. I would say, though, that, I'm going to have to know, maybe 11 guys, because I really don't know maybe even 12 guys. I don't really know who they're going to round out the lineup with. So really, that question will be answered tomorrow when they release that lineup. But yeah, I would say, there's some guys there that it looks like, they do a really good job with the breaking balls. There's some guys there that look like they do a really good job with heaters. So, I don't think they're built one way.
Charlie, kind of going back to what you were talking about earlier, what does it mean to you then to be named this Game 1 starter and to know you've got guys on your team that, with you rolling out there, they have all the confidence in the world with you kind of setting the tone in this series, and how you approach it, if at all, any differently from any other start?
I think I know now that I think I have a better idea what I have to do to prepare mentally. I think that, like, I'm okay with becoming obsessive over my preparation within a certain window. Whereas, I'll sit there and I'll look at something for half hour, 45 minutes, hour, and then, like, I got to move on. Whereas I think before, in the past, I think something like that would have it'd probably be spinning in my head. And just the game, the unknown, like, what's going to happen? Who's going to be in the lineup? What am I going to feel like when I get out there? All those unknowns. I got a pretty good idea what I'm going to feel like. I got a pretty good idea what it's going to be like here. It's they got a roof here, probably gonna trap the sound really well, probably gonna be really loud. The guys over there, I know that are pretty fired up. They got a really good team. And it's nice to know that I've been in those spots. Like it's reassuring because there's the unknown is really what gets you in life. So I don't really think, I'm not really thinking about those things a whole lot now. I'm more focused. So I'm more focused on what I feel like I need to be focused on. But in terms of answering your question, the confidence that a team has in you, that an organization has in you, there's really no words to describe it. Like, there can only be, there's only so many chances you get that the team gives you. So many guys get the chance to get the ball to start a playoff game. And this year, I'm a guy that's been given the ball to start a game. And I don't know, there's just so many guys that I've played with, I've watched, I've admired, respected, that never had that chance. And I try to make the most of it every time because I know that it's not a normal thing to be given so many chances to start so many playoff games.
Charlie, through last year's ALCS Game 7, I think you had a 1.45 over your past 9 postseason appearances. If you look back on 2017, was there one of those games where things clicked or just where you gained that confidence and things changed for you?
Yeah, I would say in 17, going into that spring training, I was with the Pirates for 7 years. I was with the Phillies for a brief stint for 4 starts. I got hurt and had surgery, ended my season in 16. And then in 17, when I got into spring training, like with the Pirates, I was there for a long time, but I didn't really, I don't know if I ever really got to a spot where I looked at myself like, man, someone's counting on me, like to a degree where I would have wanted to be in that spot. Like I never got there. I never got to where I wanted to be. And then when I got there in 17 with the Astros, I was kind of still there. I was coming off a season where I threw in 4 games. I got hurt. I had no impact, if not a negative impact, because they traded for me and they paid me a lot of money to rehab. And then, I looked around that room and there's some really good players in that room. And, I did okay. I was like, I think I had like a 4-something ERA for my first month and a half maybe. And I got hurt. I had a lat strain. I thought I was going to miss the better part of the season from what they told me initially because of a long story. But I came back, I don't know, sometime in July. And I think I was kind of stuck my first month and a half with where I was with the Pirates. Like I always viewed myself as a sinker baller. I'm going to go down and in on righties. I'm going to kind of like mix it around, trying to figure out what I'm doing to lefties. I had no idea. But then once I came back, made a concerted effort to throw more breaking balls, more of a mix. And then once I did that, I started to notice that pitching got a lot easier. And then when they told me I was going to make a play, I made my first playoff start with the Astros at Fenway. And I just remember the day before that, like, just those emotions, those feelings, like, just a lot of doubt, anxiety, like, man, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't mean like, can I go pitch? Because I'd already pitched in the playoffs, but can I keep this going? And I went out and I felt okay. And then they gave me the ball. I pitched a game in New York against the Yankees. And I remember giving up a bunch of runs and like leaving that field thinking, man, like I don't know what just happened because I felt like I threw the ball okay. It's just a ton of people scored. And they gave me the ball for Game 7 in the championship series. It was like, well, it's do or die. Here it is, Game 7. Like, this is no tomorrow if you don't win. And I think that was probably it. That was probably when I was like, man, like, this is Game 7 of the championship series against the Yankees. So I got through that okay, and then my next start was a World Series start against the Dodgers. I feel like I threw the ball really well then. So it was probably somewhere around then. It was probably sometime, going into Yankee Stadium, getting beat like that in Yankee Stadium in the playoffs, and then given the ball for Game 7. That was something that I'd never experienced. Like coming off a start like that, and then them looking at me and going, you threw the ball well. We trust you. We believe in you. Here's the ball for Game 7. And I think that's when I finally was like, holy cow. And then since then, it's just been kind of like, I don't know. I don't doubt myself the way I used to from that moment on. So now it's just kind of like, if I'm privileged enough to be given a ball in a playoff start, it's like, I know that I've done it. I know that I'm capable of doing it. Now, for how long? I don't know. Can you just look at me like, I'm not saying I'm going to be playing in 6 years, but, will I be sitting here in a hypothetical world, thinking, man, I can still do this? Probably not, But in this moment, I feel like I threw the ball well this year, and I feel like I'm in a good spot.
Do you give a lot of credit to AJ for just giving you that start, or whoever else?
Yeah, I mean I remember AJ we were walking up, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but we were in New York, and after that loss, and I remember him just looking me in the face and just being like, "Look, like something to the effect of, like you got this. This is it just didn't go our way." Basically, what he said, and then more than words, like in action, he gave me the ball in Game 7. And then when we were in Dodger Stadium, he looked at me and he said, for Game 7 in the World Series, he looked at me and he said, I don't know when you're going to get the ball. I don't know if it's going to be in the middle of the game or it's going to be the end of the game, but we're going to get it to you. And by then I kind of, I started to think, man, like, someone like an organization actually considers me a viable option to pitch in a Game 7, like a shutdown situation. So, I mean, shoot, how old am I then? Like 33 years old? So I guess those are the moments that definitely probably were the most impactful in my career in terms of me feeling like I belonged. And it took me a while. So, but we got there.
Just wondering, ever since Willie Adames came to Milwaukee, his teammates have talked about the kind of energy boost he's provided as a teammate. You played with him in Tampa. I'm just wondering, just what is he like as a teammate, and do you have any examples of kind of that energy he kind of showed in the locker room or anything like that?
Yeah. So, I wasn't there when Willie got to the big leagues. But I could tell immediately when I got there that he desperately wanted to be involved in the clubhouse. He desperately wanted to connect guys in the clubhouse. He wanted to be a glue guy. Like, and I say that as like a guy that transcends cultural barriers, language barriers, age barriers. Like a guy that that just makes the room better for everybody. And I could tell that immediately about him. And just aside from what he does on the field, like, you need those guys to win. Like, you need those guys for a season like we had last year, where there's just, it was really weird, it's like very challenging. Last year, it was, everybody had to be all in. And then even this year, to some degree, we had that. But then when I saw that Willie got traded, I was excited for him because I knew that maybe he needed that coming out of Tampa. Because I knew that, there's some guys coming up behind him. And I also knew, though, that he would really probably appreciate that, that an organization would, give up something to have him come and then give him, a job and then give him the chance to run with it. And then, it's just sometimes you just think, like the change of scenery kind of thing. I mean, in his case, I think, and I do hope for the future it works out for him. I love Willie. I think he's great. I think he would fit in anywhere. And I'm really happy to see that he's done so well. So I wish Willie nothing but the best, but I didn't think that anything different of him. Like I wouldn't have expected any less. That, the guys would have loved him and that he would have fit in and done a heck of a job.